Good evening. It's always nice to talk to you guys. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about this teaching that is so all around us, but we still forget to use, we still forget to live it, and that's love. Because tonight we're going to talk a little bit about one part of the Gospel according to Spiritism, so that's the chapter 25, item 6. And the first point when we talked about Gospel is this problem that everybody, especially here in Australia, and also I lived a while in Germany, it was the same story, that people think that the Gospel is inside of a silo. And this silo is called religion. And this is so wrong because we wrongly separate the bodies of knowledge that we have, right? We separate this. I don't like maths, someone says to you. But this person knows exactly if she or he can go to the pub to meet friends because based just on the money this person has in his or her pockets, right? So that's maths. When you hang your clothes outside on the line to dry, you are using physics, right? The same story happens with the Gospel. We see this as a religion, a set of prohibitions. You cannot do that. You cannot cut your hair. You cannot wear short skirts. You have to pray in this direction. You have to pray on your knees, or you have to pray whatever, right? And we are always more or less waiting for a God that needs to be admired, and it's just milliseconds to get revenge on us because we made some mistake. And this is wrong, because the Gospel should be taken as how to behave in life. And didn't he say something about when you go to a party, sit on the back seats, don't sit in the front. Because if it's for you to sit on the front, the owner of the party is going to call you to the front, right? And you're going to be honored. It's much better going this way than the opposite, saying, hey, you shush, go there, right, to the low-cost sittings. So, and what is this not how to behave in life? So, how to behave in life? And then comes the question, what is life? We can divide life, or can we understand life in many manners? And I listen to some people talking because everything that I'm saying here is not my ideas, is what I read or listened. I am not better than anybody, right? It's just I read a little bit more in this subject. So we can understand life first as the biological life. So we have bodies, and our bodies are alive. So we are breathing and walking around. And we have some 100 trillion cells in our bodies, right? And each cell has some 100 trillion atoms in themselves. So, and we have more than 92,000 proteins in our DNA. And people are discovering more and more by the day. So we are really ambulant galaxies of cell systems. This gives us a little bit of responsibility what we are doing with our poor body. But in each case, all of our cells are working in complete, perfect, absolute cooperation. Because if we don't have cooperation, we need to see an oncologist, right? It's a disease with a name, no? And also, all of our cells, all of them, have the entire genome in itself. So they can do anything. For example, my nail here, the cell that is there is exactly the same as the cell that I have in my eye. But, thanks God, no of the cells in my eye is doing nails, right? So they are sacrificing everything they can do, every possibility that can do in our bodies to do only one specific thing. And this is the cooperation they have, this absolute cooperative manner, right? Because they make this sacrifice. In our bodies, cooperation prevails. So, without collaboration, it's impossible to have a complex body. And if you don't have a complex body, you are just a cell, right? An amoeba or something like this, a bacteria, something very small and that has a, let's say, a limited life in comparison what we can do, right? So we have complex bodies because we have in ourselves collaboration. And now comes another source. It's a book called Kybalion. Sorry for my pronunciation. The Kybalion is a study of Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt and Greece. And it has a row of principles that two of them I think it's quite interesting for the night. The first one says that the principle of mentalism, that the all is mind, the universe is mental. And this is also interesting to see that Spiritism says this, but a little bit in between the lines, that what there is are spirits. And the material world was created for usage of the spirits. And is only there because there are spirits, right? So that is interesting to see that everything converges to one point. But the second principle is the one that I want to talk to tonight, is the principle of correspondence. And the principle of correspondence says that, in an easy way of speaking, that which is above is like to what is below, and what is below is like to which is above. So there are relationships. Example, the third law of Newton, that's physics, right? So for any single force that I make in one direction, there is a reaction equal in the other direction. This, the fellows from the Hinduism are going to call the karma law. What I do comes back to me. What I plant, I have to sow, right? Another example, in the temple of Apollo, so Socrates, right? Socrates also, it was also very important for the Spiritism. He is the one of them that helped to write the Book of Spirits. He says that, or better, he loves the sentence that was on the temple of Apollo in Delphi. Know yourself and you will know the universe and gods. So that's a correspondence between me and God. And now comes again the correspondence, the thing that's get together. God made man in his image and likeness. And that's the Genesis, first chapter, 26 to 27. So the Bible, the Old Testament. Everything comes to the same idea that there is a correspondence. What's happened here, happens there. And why I'm bringing this idea? I'm bringing this principle of correspondence to say that this collaboration that we have in our bodies happens also in other spaces, in other things, not only among ourselves, but also in other spaces. But let's keep talking about life, because the other point that we can see life is as an existence. Right? How's your life? You don't ask about how's your health or how's your body. You ask about how's your work, how's your family, how's your social life, how is your children doing, and whatever. So, existence is as complicated as our bodies. You know, right? We know. It's just try to fill the tax. The tax after the finance year is complicated, right? So, but there is a meaning in life. There is a meaning in existence. And from this moment that we start trusting life, and instead of being carried away, right, being just thrown to the life, we start understanding and reading the messages that life is bringing to us. We can see, we can get that life is willing to take us higher on our understanding. and spiritual evolution. So existence in all its moments is logic. If you take a look on our story, right, the things that happens to you, you see that there is a line, there is something that you have always to face again, and you have to perhaps solve this, perhaps go over this, but it comes and comes and comes again, right? Imagine someone that needs to live in 3 different countries with 3 different languages and couldn't speak any of them. It's my life. So there is a meaning there, right? And also the Oriental tradition says that what we did not learn tends to repeat itself until we learn it. Not to repeat the same way, right? It's not that every day we lost the same bus, but it's something that comes in the same manner, with the same idea, with the same opportunity to think and act about a particular point. This comes and comes back again to us. So, and this is an opportunity to us to stop a little bit and meditate what we are doing with all the opportunities life is giving us, right? What we are doing, because life is a kind of big scenario, as I said earlier, that was made for the spirits and the spirits only, and it's going through a process of evolution, right? It's going through a process of giving us lessons that we can pick and use to our meaning. So we have really to use these opportunities, to think about it, what we are doing. Yes, because in the end of the day, we should take a photo from ourselves, one that we have for 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and look at the person that was there, and remember what this person, the younger us, what we are thinking, what we are doing, the way we are acting, and I hope that everybody can say, I have grown in some aspects. This person, if I met this person again today, I would say, younger me behave in a different way because of this, because of that, right? Because, and thank you very much because you learned me these kind of things. So, okay, this everything brings this idea that life is communicating to us with a high degree of intelligence. And this intelligence is exactly the wisdom that develops self-knowledge and self-control. Know yourself, no? As Socrates always said, and I always like the sentence. And this allows us to choose from all options are offered to us, to choose the best one. In life, we could define it by its biological meaning, as a system starting from a very simple cell, right? Like the evolution on Earth, right? In the beginning, it was just simple life forms, and this evolves to a more complicated structures. In the same way, the life my grandparents had, it was much more simpler than the one we have today. The same story with my father. It was much easier the way to perform through life, right? No social media. Yes. So, like you and me, that we also came from just one cell, a fertilized egg, a fertilized, I forgot the word, I think it's, ovule or something. So, and this association that happens in our cells also and allow us to have complicated bodies, also allow us to have complicated existences. And complicated existences give us the opportunity to learn, right? Because the children that are just starting school, they learn what's 1 plus 1, right? And we learn, or we need to learn something much more complicated. Not only when we are studying, but also in our lives, no? What we're doing with it. So, reinforcing. Existence is complicated as our bodies, but everything has an intelligence, a meaning. Based on the complicated existence we have, we can get the point that this meaning is a high-level target because it's complicated, it's difficult, it's not easy. It's not easy to nobody, right? And, sorry, Charles Darwin, based on the Kybalion, the principle of correspondence, we can see or we can understand as in nature, and also we can see and understand as the native folks have seen already that in nature everything is based on collaboration. And also it must be the case from evolution law, right? Like the king lion, there is this cycle of life that one feeds the other and keeps the flock healthy, and so that works, no? Because collaboration in the end of the day is love, and love is a fusion force, a uniting force. And love is also what helps us to learn in a definitive way. There are people that have dementia, so Parkinson, etc., and they still remember what they loved, right? There is a YouTube video from a dancer, a ballet dancer, and someone put the music and she starts moving the hands as she was doing when she was young and healthy, right? So, because of love. Okay, but back to the text from the Gospel according to Spiritism. This text from the chapter 25, item 6, is that when Jesus says that we have to observe the birds and the lilies of the fields. He says, observe the birds, they neither sow or reap, they do not store anything, but they always have food because there is someone taking care of them. And one sentence that my brother always loved is, why are you so anxious about clothing? Observe how the lilies of the fields grow. They neither work nor spin. Nevertheless, I declare to you that Solomon himself, in all his glory, was ever dressed like one of them. So what's the message that Jesus is trying to give? And I ask also myself to understand this totally, right? He's asking us not to be preoccupied with life and existence, not to be preoccupied with material stuff, not to be preoccupied with the small things. Because in the end, not in the end, in the beginning, or always, we are spirits. We are immortal spirits. And we are spending most of our times taking care of our material needs. Needs? Really? Look the birds. Look the lilies on the fields. So what we are doing, right? We are investing on the wrong stock market, right? We are doing the wrong thing. We are not investing in our spiritual evolution. And even if life is giving us this opportunity, again and again and again and again. And Jesus says this clearly, right? We don't need to be preoccupied because we live in a life, in a universe that's love. And this is also the principle of mentalism, right? They always mind the universe is mental. He's saying exactly this, right? That the universe is a kind of spirit, and this spirit is love, is mercifulness, and it's everything that's good, right? As I said once, is Wi-Fi, full battery, and 5 bars on the reception. Is everything that's good, it's everything that's fine. We live in a universe of love because it's a creation of pure love and mercy. Everything that's here, everything that happens to us, everything that was given or taken from us is done by love. We don't need to get preoccupied. We are in love. Thank you very much. Small prayer. Okay. So, now closing our eyes or not, the way you feel better, let's just elevate our thoughts, saying, thank you very much. Thank you for everything that we have. Thank you for everything that we are. Thank you for everything that happens to us. Because this everything is love. And we ask you to help us to use this everything that we have, everything that happens to us, everything that we are, to the best of ourselves, and that we can serve as an example to other people, to the people around us. So help us and protect us in this week until the next meeting. Thank you very much.